The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Fishing magnate Francisco Laurel Jr. has been appointed as Agriculture Secretary. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza with the details.
For the new Secretary of the Department of Agriculture,
Business tycoon Francisco Laurel Jr. is a major player in the country's agriculture sector. Laurel has been in the fishing industry, seafood processing, and other agricultural businesses for more than 3 decades. According to Marcos Jr., they finally found an official who understands very well the problems of the sector.
Nagsimula siya sa pangingisda, ngunit na yung mga iba't ibang panig ng agrikultura ay napasukan na niya. Kaya nauunawaan niya hindi lamang kung ano yung problema, kung hindi ang mga solusyon sa problemang yun.
Laurel will replace Marcos, who has held the DA Secretary post since he assumed the presidency last year. The chief executive also explained why he held on to the position for quite some time.
Was that I truly believed, and I think I was proven right, that there are many things that only a president could do. And the problems were so important and were so deep that I felt that the authority.
Asked about his marching orders for the new DA chief, the president said he wants Laurel to control the surging prices of agricultural commodities and mitigate climate change.
Well, the obvious one is trying grain control of the prices of all the agricultural commodities that are going up. At tinatamaan tayo ng, yun na nga, yun na pag-usapan ko, climate change, alam nyo na lahat yung swine flu, alam nyo na lahat yung avian flu na tumatama sa atin.
For his part, Laurel laid out his plans for the department that include agricultural modernization and increased production.
Pangunahing adhikain ko ang pagtiyak na sagana ang ating ani at siguraduhin ito ay nakakarating sa hapag ng bawat Pilipino. Layunin ko na tiyakin na may sapat at masustansyang pagkain na mabibili ang ating mga kababayan sa tamang halaga. Susi dito ang modernisasyon ng sektor ng agrikultura kasabay ng pagpabubuti sa kapakanan ng mga kapatid nating magsasaka at mangingisda.
The new Agriculture Secretary also asked for cooperation from the DA officials and employees for them to achieve their goals. Prior to his appointment, Francisco Laurel Jr. served as a member of the Private Sector Advisory Council or PSAC. He was also one of the Marcos Jr.'s biggest campaign donors in the 2022 national elections.
Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is on an official visit to the Philippines today. What could be on the agenda? Geopolitical analyst Don McLean Gill told the big story, and the Philippines and Japan share similar threat perception towards China. He said this paves the way for the Philippines to expand its defense cooperation with non-traditional allies. Gill added Manila must work to secure the alliance with Tokyo, which will prove beneficial in the long run.
Manila and Tokyo also share similar threat perceptions towards China, right? And this is not only in terms of territorial expansion in the traditional sense, but also disinformation. So hopefully we will also be able to institutionalize, and this is what I'm actually looking into, a regularized maritime exercise with Japan. So we have to make sure that we set the groundwork, make it formidable, to the point that it would not seem we are inconsistent in our approach. And that is something that is a way to show China that we are serious about our commitment.
When it comes to infrastructure partnership, Gill said Japan could benefit. That's from taking over funding projects left by China.
The Southeast Asia is definitely one of the most important areas for Japan to improve its position as a developing partner. But of course, it's not going to be as simple as, do you want to take it? Yeah, sure, we'll take it. Right. So it depends on the negotiations that would entail, how both countries, the Philippines and Japan, will be able to iron out some nitty-gritty details on the arrangements and to result in a sort of positive sum cooperation for infrastructure, right?
More stories coming your way after a quick break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. A flu-like illness is now going around while COVID-19 is still infecting people. But how can we tell the difference between the two? Mobile journalist Francis Orsho tells us in this report.
Anyone experiencing colds and coughs as of late? Well, maybe the better question is, who hasn't yet? Flu-like illness has taken over the country as of late. This is said to be more common during the cold weather. The start of the northeast monsoon or amihan usually begins when we start to feel the cold weather. This weather system carries dry and cold air, but PAGASA says it also brings viruses with it.
Dahil nga sa malamig na amihan, ay paghandaan natin mga kabayan, especially medyo sensitibo sa biglang lamig ng panahon.
With flu season seemingly upon the country once more, over 114,000 cases of influenza-like illness have been recorded nationwide, according to the Health Department. This number is 52% higher compared to the nearly 75,000 reported during the same period last year. But why exactly does this happen so often?
Pag malamig kasi, nagsasara ang lahat ng mga blood vessels natin. At pag nagsasara ang mga blood vessels natin, hindi maganda ang sirkulasyon sa ating katawan. Pag di maganda ang sirkulasyon sa ating katawan, hindi masyado nakakalaban ang ating immune system.
The usual symptoms of these kinds of illnesses are headaches, fever, body aches, and having a cough and cold. But wait, aren't those also symptoms of COVID? So how can we determine that what we're feeling is not COVID?
Lahat ng viruses pwede mag-manifest as trangkaso. Kasama na po dyan ang COVID. Siyempre, malalo tayong mag-iingat kung tayo pa ay hindi bakunado kasi alam natin wala tayong panlaban. So, para natin ma-identify, the best talaga is to do a swab.
Experts also advise to prevent getting viral illnesses by avoiding crowded places and, if possible, not staying for more than 30 minutes to 1 hour. But if you can't avoid it, wear a face mask. Make it a habit as well to drink plenty of water, getting enough sleep, and take vitamins to strengthen your immune system. If you're not sure about your illness, it's best to stay at home until the symptoms subside. So to have a happier celebration during this holiday season, it's best to take care of one's immune system. Mobile journalist Francis Orsho, we are One News.
Here's a glance at today's other top stories. The second batch of OFW repatriates from Lebanon have arrived. 6 of them flew in this week, bringing the total of returnees to 10. At least 127 more OFWs want to come home amid tensions between Israel and Lebanon-based Hezbollah. But the Department of Migrant Workers said there are challenges to repatriation. These include limited flights and the lack of proper documents of some Filipinos. The remains of Pinay caregiver Angeline Aguirre are back home. Her body will be brought to Dagupan City and later on to Binmale in Pangasinan. Aguirre was one of the 4 Filipinos who died during the Hamas attack on Israel last October 7. She refused to leave her 70-year-old employer in a bomb shelter despite threats from the militant group. The Overseas Workers Welfare Administration will cover the cost of Aguirre's wake and burial. The Energy Department expects another round of rollbacks in oil prices next week. Based on a 4-day trading, gasoline could be cheaper by 40 to 60 centavos per liter and diesel and kerosene by at least 1 peso. The DOE is attributing the slash in fuel prices to more production, lesser fuel demand, and the relative easing of the Israel-Hamas war. One News Now will be back at 6 p.m. with the day's latest stories. See you then. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News.